Annuities. Some people think they're a great retirement tool. Others think they're a terrible investment. But the reality is they're not for everyone. In fact, here are 5 common reasons why an annuity might not be a good choice for you. So before you sign on the dotted line, let's go through these together and make sure you're choosing what's right for you. Hi, I'm Judy, an investment advisor representative and founder of Annuity Guys. If you're 55 or older and starting to think seriously about retirement, or maybe you've already retired and you're wondering how do you make your money last, then you know there's a lot at stake. For many people, annuities can be a way to create guaranteed income for life, help protect against market losses, and give you added financial confidence. But that doesn't mean they're right for everyone. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 5 situations in which an annuity might not be the right option for you. I'm going to break it down in plain English with examples so you can walk away confident in your decision, whether that's to move forward with considering an annuity or to keep exploring other strategies. Let's get started. Reason number 1, you might be too old or too young. Let's start with age, because timing matters. If you're in your 20s, 30s, or even your early 40s, your retirement is likely decades away. You're in what we call the accumulation phase, the years where your focus should be on growing your wealth through investments that have higher growth potential, even if that means taking on more risk. Annuities, on the other hand, are designed for people who want more conservative growth, opportunities, and guaranteed income. Those benefits are often most valuable in the years leading up to retirement and throughout retirement itself. Now, the sweet spot is about 10 to 15 years before retirement, often in your 50s or early 60s. That's when adding some guaranteed income or downside protection to part of your portfolio makes sense. On the flip side, if you're well into your 80s, your choices might become more limited. Insurance companies often have age limits. So by the time you're 85, you might find you can't even buy certain types of annuities, or the terms simply aren't favorable. So here's the takeaway. Too young? You might be better off focusing on growth-oriented investments. Too old? You might have fewer and less flexible options. And that 10 to 15 year before retirement, that's often the appropriate decision-making window. Reason number 2, you don't have enough assets. Here's a mistake I see far too often. Someone takes a big chunk of their only savings and puts it into an annuity. And then suddenly they need that money for an emergency. Annuities are long-term products. When you purchase one, you're committing that money for a certain period, often 5, 7, even 10 years or more. Yes, most annuities allow you to take out a small percentage each year without a penalty. But if you need a big chunk early on, you could face steep surrender charges. And those withdrawals are often subject to income taxes, as well as a 10% IRS penalty if you're under age 59 and a half. That's why liquidity matters. If you're living paycheck to paycheck or your savings are minimal, tying up your money in an annuity could put you in a risky position. Think of it this way. An annuity is not your emergency fund. It's more like the income engine you build once your financial foundation is already solid. Reason number 3, you expect stock market level returns. Annuities can do many things well, but delivering stock market size returns isn't one of them. At least not without taking on, similar risks. Some people hear about guaranteed 8% growth or 9% roll-ups and assume that means they'll see 8% credited to their account balances every year. But that's not how it works. Those percentages are usually part of an income rider, which you purchase for an additional fee, and that roll-up account, that amount is used to only calculate future income, not cash as you withdraw it. You typically need to take income from the annuity in a specific way to realize the value of those roll-up credits. If you decide you don't want the annuity and you walk away, you won't get that 8% in your pocket. Fixed indexed annuities can offer potential for reasonable, conservative interest growth. That's what they do while protecting against market losses. But they also have caps or participation rates that limit the upside potential. That's the trade-off for having protection on the downside. If you want the possibility of making 20, 30% or more in a single year you could conceivably get in an investment, then you need to take on market risk. And that comes with typically looking at stocks, ETFs, or variable annuities that invest in mutual fund-like subaccounts. And remember, with those, you can lose money as well. Reason number 4. You need the money soon. Annuities are a commitment. They have surrender periods, and those penalties for early withdrawal can be significant. Let's say you buy an annuity with a 10-year surrender schedule and a 10% first-year surrender charge. If you decide to pull money out in that first year, you could lose 10% right off the top. And if you got a bonus when you bought an annuity, the company's going to want to claw that back too. That's on top of taxes. And if you're under age 59 and a half, the IRS tax on another 10% penalty. So if there's a good chance you need that money for a big purchase, like a vacation home, an RV, or even just covering living expenses in the near future, an annuity might not be the right home for those funds. Now, it's just possibly that you might need the money for an emergency. That's different. Life happens. That's where it's important to work with a professional to structure your overall portfolio so you have other liquid assets to draw from. Reason number 5. You don't fully understand the product. This might be the most important reason of all. Annuities are not overly complicated, but they do have moving parts. And unfortunately, some people buy them without fully understanding how they work. For example, you might not realize that guaranteed growth that many companies promote only applies to the income calculation, not your account value. Or you might not be aware there's a cap on how much interest you can earn each year. The result? You might find yourself disappointed. Or worse, feeling like you are misled. When you buy a car, you don't need to know exactly how the engine is built, but you do need to know how to operate it, maintain it, and what kind of fuel it takes. An annuity is the same way. You should understand how it grows and what limits the growth, how you can take income, what fees, if any, apply, how does it fit into your overall plan. If you feel pressured, confused, or like something sounds too good to be true, hit pause. Get a second opinion from someone you trust, and make sure you're comfortable before making the decision. Key takeaways. So let's recap. Age matters. Too young or too old, and it might not be a good fit. Liquidity matters. Making sure you have accessible savings before locking money up. Expectations matter. Annuities aren't designed to chase big stock and market returns. Okay. Number 4, timing matters. If you need the money soon, it's probably not the right tool. And number 5, understanding matters. Knowing exactly what you're buying and why. An annuity can be a great addition to a retirement plan, but only when it aligns with your age, assets, goals, and understanding. If you're wondering whether an annuity is right for you, we'd be happy to talk. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. And that's why it's so important to look at your unique situation, your goals, and your other assets. We can walk through the pros and cons, compare options, and see if it makes sense for you, or if another strategy would be a better fit. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and click like. Subscribe to the Annuity Guys, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Every week, we share timely, straightforward insights to help you make smarter retirement decisions, without the hype, without the jargon, and without the pressure. Thanks for watching, and here's to building a retirement plan you can feel confident about.